Yeah. Oh, you got to stand on a minute. Somebody said, a woman got to have, don't you know, she got to feel it, boy, every time. I don't know about who back there, fellas. I'm going to tell you something now. You're right, too. And the moral of this story is that you can eat it, stroke it, lick it, do anything you want to do with it, but you ain't did nothing until you stand up. Hello, Jack. Hey, darling, put Bobby on the phone. Yeah, Bobby, it's Richard. Yeah, look, I ain't never coming home no more. Take it easy. To be with my side piece. 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 I guess I got it from my daddy because it's all in my jeans. See, I'm addicted to banana, and you know what I mean. They said I ran with a water hole. It's a program, but I ain't with it all. I ain't going out like that. Now if you see my baby, and she looking for me, till I be home sorry, but I ain't coming home to you. Even though I'm wrong, you know I'm coming home. Soon as I hit the door, baby, you say big daddy home. I left home, baby, to be with my side piece. I left home, to be with my side piece. To be with my side piece. To be with my side piece. This is the definition of a real man. See, when I'm with my side piece, she understands all about my situation, all about my obligations. And when we on vacation, we are no destination. You might find me in Morocco, or down in Japan. You might find me in Mexico, chilling in the sand. You might find me in Africa. You might see me in Italy. You might find me in Jamaica. I got my baby beside me. Yeah, I left home, baby, to be with my side piece. I left home to be with my side piece. I left home, baby, to be with my side piece. I left home, to be with my side piece. You can tell my baby what you want to tell. You can say what you want to say. She ain't gone nowhere. I got and it's down with me. I represent Louisiana. Until the end, I left home, baby, to be with my side piece. I left home to be with my side. All right. I left home. The people my side beat, baby. Everybody, come out and dance. Don't be afraid. Just give yourself a chance. Ain't no secret how to do the steps. Come on, people, and join the band. Follow, smile, yeah. Follow, just smile. You take 2 steps to the left. You take 2 steps to the right. Slide to the back, yo. And run all night. Smile. You can't do sitting down in your seat. Come on, people, get up on your feet. Try to people see what you can do. Now you got it, you're doing it too. And smile. Hey. Then you smile. Hands up. Get a bass line song.
Well, I think I'm live. Oh, wow. Okay. And it is.
Get a guitar, son. He like to slide too. 1, 2, 3, 4. And smile. Hey. And smile. Girl. Jump into the slip and slide into the groove. Don't be afraid to let yourself go. Come on, baby, get out on the floor and slide. Everybody slide. Then take it. Slide on. And slide. Then take it. Baby, you slide. Hey. Everyone do the taste. Come out on top. No, you won't stay. So we're doing that blues. Hey, baby. So we're doing that blues. Shake that booty and you slide back and forth from side to side. Don't hold back, just let that booty go. Just scoop that booty all across the floor. We're doing that blues. So we're doing that blues. Oh yeah. So we're doing that blues. So we're doing that blues. It ain't what you got, it's what you do. Now make that booty go loop-de-loop. Scoot it to the front, scoot it to the back, turn it to the side, and now you got the night doing that booty. So doing that booty. Oh yeah. So we're doing that booty. So we're doing that booty. Now some of you ladies still in your seat. Why don't you get up and feel the heat? You can go to school like everybody else. Just shake your behind and enjoy yourself. We're doing that blues. So we're doing that blues. So we're doing that blues. Hey, baby. So we're doing that blues. Step back, everybody. You big professor. Cause when she do this, she take a plan.
I guess I am live. I'm not sure actually.
She's on the camper side. But when she do this, she'll make your nature right. Do the blues. So we're doing that blues. Oh yeah. So we're doing that blues. So we're doing that blues. My blues is taking over this time. And every club and juke joint, they getting down. Once you get started, it's hard to stop. People are blues around the clock. They're doing that blues. So they're doing that blues. Yeah, doing that blues. On the beat. So they're doing that blues. Now you know what? I was in a lot of Georgia, y'all. They were doing that blues. New York City, York City. They were doing that blues. Oh yeah. They told me Memphis, Tennessee really got it going on. They were doing that blues. Oh yeah. They were doing that blues. They were doing that blues. Oh yeah. I can't leave out Clarksville, Mississippi. They were doing that blues. Let's go, baby, to the hole in the wall. I've had my best time, y'all. Yes, I did. In the hole in the wall. 3 o'clock in in the morning, all the damn clubs are closed. I went to this place, y'all, I didn't want anyone to know. I walked into the room, had my nose in the air. It's 7 in the morning, and I'm still in there. Let's go, baby, to the hole in the wall. Oh, yeah. I've had my best time, y'all. Yes, I did. In the hole in the wall. I took my high-class woman with me the next night. She didn't want to get out of the car. She said it didn't look right. She walked into the room with her nose in the air. It's 7 in the morning, y'all, and she's still in there. Smoke-filled room, whiskey and chicken wings. People dancing and drinking, and no one wants to leave. Let's go, baby. Oh, yeah. To the hole in the wall. I wanna go there. I've had my best time, y'all. Yes, I did. And the hole in the wall. I know you've heard of that before. Hey,
I understand. Oh, I understand. Oh, well. That's fine. We'll learn that.
Smoke-filled room, whiskey and chicken wings. People dancing and drinking, and no one wants to leave. Let's go, baby. Here we go. To the hole in the wall. I've had my best time, y'all. In the hole in the wall. I wanna go, baby. Here we go. To the hole in the wall. I know a lot of y'all have heard of that before. It's like a long time tonight. You can hang out all night long. And I want to go back to the hole in the wall. Somebody go with me. Let's go, baby. To the hole in the wall. I've had my best time, y'all. In the hole in the wall. Oh, yeah. 3 o'clock in the morning, all the damn clubs are closed. I went to this place, y'all, I didn't want anyone to know. Walked into the room, had my nose in the air. It's 7 in the morning, and I'm still in there. But let's go, baby, yeah. To the hole in the wall. Oh, yeah. I've had my best time, y'all. Yes, I did. In the hole in the wall. Hey, baby, do you wanna go, baby? Oh, yeah. To the hole in the wall. You see, baby, I had my best time. The eagle flight on Friday. Everything is all good. Getting ready to party at the spot in the hood. Call my girl to remind her. Well, something sexy I like. Call all our friends to remind you. It's BYOB tonight. Got some money, got my honey. Going out to party tonight. Got some EJ, you bring the Hennessy. Meet me at the spot tonight. Got some money, got my honey. Going out to party tonight. Got some EJ, you bring the Hennessy. Meet me at the spot tonight. Picked up my clothes from the cleaner.
And good evening, everyone.
When my car
You are joining me for a special broadcast of the Amputee podcast. And, well, looks like I might be flying this bird solo tonight. But I would love to invite anyone to come and join me as I continue on. So, this is a different show for us, okay? This is a different show. Why so? Well, it is actually 1:43. It is 1:43 in the morning here in my bunker in here in 29 Palms, California. And so Chef said she was going to join me. I even talked with her a bit earlier, and she seemed excited. And so I'm very surprised. For those of you on Facebook, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Join us at StreamYard. Okay, join us on StreamYard. And what I will do is I will put the link in this window so that hopefully you'll come over there and join us. Okay? It's just that I think I have too many windows open. And so they're saying that I don't have enough bandwidth going on. All right? So come on over and we'll see you at StreamYard. Okay? I'm going to turn off Google Live. Okay, so that's done. Okay, well, tonight we were going to talk to two-time Paralympian. We had a guest all situated, a fella up in the UK, Owen Roberts, a two-time Paralympian, an author, host of the, I'll just give you that information. Well, I guess I won't do it now because he's not on the show. So what I'll do is we'll have him back on the show. We'll reschedule his appearance on the show, and we will delve into this topic a bit deeper. Okay. What I wanted to do, however, now is I said, well, since I'm here, hell, I stayed up to do this thing. I got a doctor's appointment at 9:00 in the morning down in Palm Springs I got to drive to. So I'm only going to get a few hours sleep. So I figured I might as well use the time. Nothing wrong with creating a little content, I suppose. And we were going to talk about habits. The name of the podcast, let me put that back up. So it was Top 5 Habits of Amputees That Endure and Thrive. The mind-body connection. Okay. And I was looking at that title, and I was kind of, praying on it today. And I hope everybody's had a wonderful week since we last spoke. I've had an arduous time. I am pushing on, everyone. I am pushing on. And I tell you what, life can certainly test your mettle. And so it's actually apropos that I'm talking about enduring. And in these times of endurance, thriving. Okay? And I'm going to get to that a little bit later. So instead of reading his intro, I'm going to go back right into my notes. So now, the reason I called it the mind-body connection, because, when you're dealing with a high-performance athlete like our guest, high performers in any field, I come to think that a lot of them have some similar habits that they've established in their life. And Lord knows that I'm trying to change some habits in my life to really demonstrate that I want what I say I want, that I'm willing to endure, to suffer, to get smarter, to read more, to do more, and to be more loving, more thoughtful, and more compassionate. And the result will be me obtaining, I believe, uh, what I've set my aspirations for and what the Lord has put into my heart to achieve and to share with the world. And so when you are an amputee, and these lessons, like we've said before, this show is called Ample Amputee, but these messages, man, is for any human being that's walking this planet, that I can identify with, that is from Western society, let me put it that way. These principles, I think, are applicable to anyone. So when it comes to an athlete, and they go through not only a physical transformation, just like amputees do. Okay, and then when you're an amputee and an athlete, you're going through that mental transformation as well. So you got to get that mind stronger and that body stronger as well. Okay, so I'm sure that many of you, when you immediately after post amputation, you probably very soon after, if you were fortunate enough, you began rehabilitation, getting your dominant side of your body strong again, or the new dominant side of body stronger if it wasn't, getting more fit. Okay, and at that same time, your mind was going through a transformation as well. Perhaps you were very aware and in tune with that transformation that was occurring. And I do believe that it probably takes time to process it, because that is a traumatic situation. No matter the circumstance in which the limb is lost, I think that unless you're born that way, it's certainly a trauma-inducing situation. And I'm going to start thinking more about how I deal with trauma, how I deal with the trauma of this. Okay. My thought initially is that I started creating in order to deal with my emotions and my new body. Okay, so I started writing. I decided to get back into show business. I went back to things that I'd done before, to, I guess, things that I was sure that I knew that I could do. Okay, because maybe there's some ambivalence when you get in those changes, when you go through that body change, some ambivalence as to what will I be able to accomplish now with this new body. Okay, and when you come across incredible athletes like these Paralympians and people that compete, and they're all different types of people with disabilities that perform in these contests, it really is inspiring to me and encouraging, and it makes me realize, oh man, Mr. Q, you could do more. You could do more. So it's about developing certain habits and instituting them into your life. So when people start thinking about an athlete, I'm going to talk about it. Every term and thing that we talk about now, we're going to apply it to the spiritual and or mental directly, for those of people that don't consider themselves athletic. Okay, because it doesn't matter. If you're in competition, I suppose, with yourself, not anybody else now. Don't compete with others. Compete with the darkness inside. Be committed to let the light shine that is in you. Is that an applicable comparison, to conquer that darkness? You're never going to conquer it all, they say, as long as we're in this human form. That you always have some darkness that needs to be dealt with. That is the way. That is a part of the way. Is not letting that darkness get the better of your life condition. Because sometimes they say you have to have the darkness in order to survive. I like to hear what people have to think about that. Okay, but we're going to keep on going now. So So when it comes to exercise, the terms in stamina, endurance are what a lot of people think about. But there are some differences between those terms. So stamina is like the mental and physical ability to sustain an activity for a long period. Stamina is the mental and physical ability to sustain an activity for a long period. So whether you're a below the waist amputee or above the waist amputee, you develop that stamina because you're using one side of your body and you're thinking a little bit more and differently about how you're engaging in the world. You got to have a mental stamina. Now, some people might want to give up. Some people maybe not even get started. When I was in rehab, I recall seeing a young boy, actually. He was maybe 19 or something. Hispanic boy there was in the room next door. And he had been in a car accident maybe the day after I got in. So he came in real quickly after I got there. Yeah, my leg was off. Yeah, of course, I was in rehab. And he'd given up. Young boy had given up. But his youth, I believe, of course, may have contributed to his lethargy. I saw his family coming in trying to encourage him, and he refused to go to rehab. Oh, I saw that many times throughout my, 10 to 14 days stay I was there. Okay, I saw many people that simply refuse to get out of bed and go to rehab and begin their lives after having their various limbs removed. Now, of course, I don't know those people's story. I did not really talk to very personally any other amputees in there. Only maybe a couple when I went out to have a cigarette, which they were strictly forbidden me to, but I am an addict. And I told them, I said, yeah, no, I'm probably going to sneak on out here and get me a cigarette, And so, of course, I wasn't the only one. There were plenty of fellows out there, and a couple of ladies as well, sneak out there. And they had a little area actually set up for the purpose of people smoking out there, it seemed. At any rate, we were out there. And so, we would commune a little bit. Me and one other guy, we were getting to the point, because since my wife was a bit away, I ran out of cigarettes. He had cigarettes. My wife bring me cigarettes. I give him some of mine, and vice versa. He give me some of his. So I get mine. And so that would be about the closest thing to a relationship, really, that was established for me in there. I was focused on getting the hell out of there, I want to be honest with you. Anything they told me to do, I would always overexert myself. I was doing a lot of meditation and thinking about, okay, let me just say it's cool, man. You're going to do what you're going to do, and you're Eric Quander, and you're going to continue on. And what a hell of an adventure this is. So I was developing that stamina, exercising a bit, that mental part too, in addition to the walking that they had me doing on the walker, because I had to walk a certain distance in order before they would release me. So, endurance. So this is the next point, endurance. Endurance refers to your body's physical capability to sustain an exercise for a period of time. So now, once you get out that rehab, now this is when your endurance is going to start kicking in. Okay, so you got the basics on it. You're getting a little exercise, and you can move about a bit, hopefully. And now you got to do this now for the rest of your life. That's when that endurance is going to kick in. The thought of, wow, that limb ain't growing back. I very quickly made sure I said that to myself. Mr. Q, that limb is not growing back. This ain't no goddamn fantasy movie. Unless you in the damn Matrix. All right, in this reality, you will not be having that leg again, unless they come up with some kind of goddamn science that you don't know nothing about right now. And at this point, I ain't gonna take no sign. I wouldn't even grow that sucker back. I let it be how it is. Guess that's how. This is what my path is, so I accept it and embrace it. Don't just accept it. I love it, so I embrace it. I hug it. It's mine. So, I encourage you to do the same thing. Let me keep on moving down here because I ain't going to keep everybody here too long. Now, they say that endurance is made up of two components: cardiovascular endurance and muscular endurance. So, cardiovascular, as you know, means the heart. And muscular endurance, okay? So the heart, let's just say that's kind of your spirit to me. When these people talking about that, this article was written, that I'm pulling this from, was written for runners. Okay, it was written for runners that are just regular people, regular runners. And I used to love reading running magazines back in like the early '90s, somewhere around there. I just got into reading running magazines, and I found the articles inspiring. Maybe because I was on my weight loss journey, and near around that time, I don't remember the years, but I was 27 when I'd lost a great deal of weight. At any rate, I got into reading a lot of running magazines. I always will refer to those sometimes and pick one up and just go through it and just read it. I'm not a runner. I'd like to be, I think, with my new leg. I intend to do a bit of running, at least do some jogging and stuff with my boy. So I can at least be a little bit amble. So when they're talking about the muscle, okay, first they talked about the heart. We say, don't say spirit. And now the muscle, that's just mean the physical. God dang it. You can't be no weakened. You got to have a little bit of true grit about you in order to endure and to thrive. You got to have a bit of just solid muscle that you're going to put to work. It's a little sweat. When people talk about stamina, usually they're referring to their ability to perform an activity without getting tired. It can be thought of as the opposite of fatigue. So having good stamina, like for an athlete, they were giving the example, might mean being able to get through an entire game without a dip in their performance. Okay. Well, see, we already know that we're going to dip. You better accept that. You're going to dip. Oh, that's music playing. Okay. We're going to dip a bit in our performance. Some days we're going to shine, and some days we are not going to shine as bright. However, if you have built your endurance, then you will eventually get refreshed. Okay, you'll eventually get refreshed. You might not be, you more than likely won't perform how you performed before. All right, here we go now. You have that dip, right? You're going through a transformation in that dip. You're going through a transformation as you ascend out of that dip. You're going through a transformation as you go down the hill into that dip, right? And never at those points are you the same person twice. At never in any of those points are you the same person. You're always, now you might want to be, you might want to say, well, oh man, when I was like this back then, I was better. No, maybe not. Maybe not. You better embrace the now. It's good to think about the past, and then that John Cougar Mellencamp song. No. It's that Boss song, Bruce Springsteen song, "Glory Days." It's good to think about those glory days. It's most important to live in the now, and there's great value in planning for the future. Okay. Unlike endurance, stamina itself is a component of physical fitness, but it's the result of becoming fitter. I love that. That's pretty good. Physical fitness is often divided into 5 components. Now, this is where we get into our top 5. Cardiovascular endurance, we talked about that. Endurance of the heart, developing your compassion for yourself, for those around you. Number 2, flexibility. Now, they're talking about making sure you warm up and stuff, before you get started. But we're talking about flexibility of spirit. I think the samurai used to talk about how you sometimes got to bend with the wind a little bit. Can't be too rigid in your dogma. Now, yes, you got to be rooted, but you got to make sure you can go a little bit with the breeze and allow for change and be a little bit flexible. Okay. Now, I am told I have some issues with that, and I got to get a little bit more flexible, especially in my family environment. That I really got to start taking in other folks' thoughts and opinions. Okay. I'll talk about that another time. Body composition. This is another component or habit that amputees that endure and thrive that they're thinking about. Body composition. getting to know your body. See, now as an actor, my main tool and vehicle for expression of character was my body. So I had to be very aware of how I moved, the space I took up, where my voice was going. When you're a stage actor, you really become, obsessed. You become very concerned. I mean, it's all you think about kind of after you learn those lines. Then you forget, then you don't think about lines. And then it's all about being in the space and making this thing as real as possible and making that audience believe everything that they're seeing and saying is happening. And that that you do see it, because you can't, don't fool. I never did that type of theater. I didn't believe in theater where you acting like the audience wasn't there. That's ridiculous. Because they're there. That's ridiculous. What? No, that's fun. That made it fun. That's why Shakespeare is such wonderful theater for young actors, to make sure they get a good footing, because he wrote his plays to engage with the audience. Okay, anyway, body composition. Knowing what your body's doing. Knowing the abilities and limits of your body. Okay? Knowing that I couldn't do what, say, one of my favorite actors that I worked with, John Harrell. Our bodies were completely different. Here he was a 6'4", 160-pound white boy with long curly hair, and here I was 6'2", 300-pounder, black guy, lots of hair. And we're doing this Shakespeare. My body ain't gonna do what he did. And there ain't no shame in that. I loved it. I loved it, because let me wow them and show them what this big boy gonna do up on this stage. And I was known for being light and graceful on my feet in my reviews. That's what they would say. I'm very graceful. I was very graceful. That's because one of my biggest influence, actually, was Danny Kaye. Yeah, Danny Kaye. You guys might know him from back in the 50s. He was a musical actor, and I did a lot of musical theater. And he was just very light on his feet. And in fact, he inspired me. He was the first person that I recall seeing and saying, "Oh, Grandpa, I'm going to do what that guy's doing." I was looking at the Inspector General. And my grandfather was sitting there on the couch, and I was laying on the floor on my stomach like that, looking at the TV, as big as a saucer. And I looked at it, and he was a singing and a dancing. I said, "Oh, Grandpa, that's what I'm going to do when I get older." Yeah, that's what I did. And at any rate, body composition, developing that awareness of your body. Now, perhaps when we have the guests back on, we're going to dive deeper into this conversation, right? We're going to talk about actual things that you can do to exercise and develop and start incorporating. That's what it is. Incorporating each one of these components, developing an awareness about it in your life. I'm going to go through the last two. Muscular endurance, we talked about. You got to get fit. I got to eat better. I know I got to stop smoking. I ain't going to probably stop smoking for quite a while. So in lieu of that, I don't drink. I do smoke, and I don't exercise enough, even though I do work, but now I'm finding out I'm sitting at my computer typing, because I'm doing a lot of article writing right now. So I'm typing, and I'm not really doing too much construction because it's the season. Not too much goes on in the winter there. But that muscular endurance, I do find myself, however, throughout my course of my day, being very conscious now to make sure I get up out this chair, walk around my office, do a little something physical, go out into the back. I get to get that ready for spring. I'm not selling much wood this winter. I haven't really been advertising it. But I do got some wood out there. I'm going to get chopped up and sold. And just doing things. Make sure I keep the body moving, so come springtime, I ain't going to, be too far gone. Now, come springtime, it is my natural thing that I'm naturally going to take off about 15 pounds. As soon as that weather hit, I take off about 15 pounds. And then whatever else I lose throughout the summer is usually water weight, because the desert, you're going to drink a lot of water and you're going to sweat a lot. So you're losing weight, okay? Because I'm out there working. We do try to take it easy during the day, but we're about getting that money. So when the job is, that's when we're gonna work. And sometimes it's 100 degrees and 110. We're gonna work it as long as we can, as long as we got water. So we've been there. But that endurance, and I'll try to be out there. Now, last summer I had to take it kind of easy because I had a little minor heart attack, and a minor stroke. So I was out there working with the boys, and I said next thing they knew, I was sitting under the tree. They said, "Yeah, boss, you kind of passed out there." So I said, "Well, I'm gonna get on in the truck and relax for a while, drink a lot of water." I know that when you feel a stroke coming on, you drink a lot of water, and that's gonna stop that stroke. And I ain't no doctor, but I have it on very good authority from a gentleman who suffered strokes, who said, "Man, now that I recognize the sign, all I got to do is I drink a lot of water at that time, right at that moment. Don't let it get no farther, and drink a lot of water." And he said, usually, about an hour, I start to perk back up and fine. Now, I don't know what happens physically in the body when you get in that stroke. I only had a minor stroke, okay? It only lasted for a few moments, but it was scary. At any rate, muscle endurance. Okay, last thing, muscular strength. Muscular strength. How will we say that? Muscular strength to me is about that spiritual fortitude again. That muscular strength about, okay, what's your base operating point? Your general, okay, you walk into the gym of life, okay, at this point, at this moment, how much can you lift? Okay, now, no matter what that weight is, my mother was telling me a few days ago, Lord, don't put no more on you than you can bear. Okay, don't put no more on you than you can bear. Okay, and every obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen our spiritual muscles and to strengthen now our physical muscles. Okay. So maybe what I've been doing is I've been parking not in the handicap zone since a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about it on the podcast. I parked just a few parks, things away. A couple of folks seen me walking to the store. "Hey, Mr. Q, you ain't parked in your spot." And I'm going to walk a little bit. Again, mindful of that weight. Let me do a little extra walking, get toned up. And also I'm about to start my flight lessons, and I got to meet weight requirements. So I'm fine now, but I don't even want to be near it. So I want to make sure I'm more than fine. At any rate, and just take those little steps every day. Do a little something, guys. I saw a posting on the Facebook today. They said, "What are you going to do that's 1% better than what you did yesterday?" That's so important. I said, today I'm going to start writing my articles. And I did. I started one article. Okay. I said, I'm going to start it today. Let me just kind of start typing it out. Once I get started and I get that rhythm, I'll get through that sucker. I'll have, 1,200 words for I know it. And just rambling, really. And you go back through, I edit it down. I'm trying to do a series of short pieces that will lead readers that I will provide, free to the public. That I want people to read, engage, but I want them to be a call of action to go to my site and learn a little bit more about my more extensive writing. Okay, so that's how I'm trying to craft them so that you'll read it, and that's just a part of a larger piece. Okay, so those take time for me to write. I got to make sure it's edited correctly. In fact, I'm looking for an editor. I'm looking for another editor. I will be working with a magazine. They have an editor. So I don't need, but for some other materials, I need an editor. So if you're an editor, you can make sure you contact me. Okay, that'd be nice. At any rate, okay. And we're going to talk about, again, those quick top 5 habits that I want you to have an awareness of and be mindful of to endure and thrive in this life. Oh, and as always, old Jax came up. Hey, Jax, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Jax. Good boy. So, again, cardiovascular endurance, and develop your heart, flexibility. Kind of go with the flow sometimes. Don't be so rigid in your dogma. Don't be too rigid, but be firm. But have roots and be rooted in what you say and mean what you say. Body composition, be aware of your body limits and push those limits. Stretch and pull and lift and heave and stretch. I love those. One of my favorite exercises we used to do as an actor, we used to get books of great art scenes, and we would be tasked with, picking a character out of the picture and putting our body in that pose. Oh, I found that so incredible. It's such a wonderful experience to mimic and try to invoke and try to see what was that person feeling perhaps or in that moment. And now you see a person, because the artist may have made that person up, how I know. But you could go that deep when you work. And man, I love acting. It's a wonderful craft to get to know yourself. Okay, number 4, muscular endurance. Keep going, guys. Keep going. You got to start pushing yourself. Sometimes you got to do a little bit at a time. But every time you go back to it, you're going to get a little bit stronger and a little bit better. And then finally, muscular strength. Make sure you connect in that heart, that mind, and that body. Act with prudence, act with justice, act with compassion, and make sure you're starting with yourself too. Now, you can increase both of them. That's what we're going to talk about the next time. How do you increase them? And there are 2 principles we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the SAID principle, which stands for the specific adaptation to imposed demands. It means your body will adapt to specific types of exercise if you perform them regularly. It's about establishing a habit, right? About establishing a habit. If you establish certain habits, your body going to start to adapt and your muscle memory going to kick in. And then that second principle we're going to talk about is the overload principle. Now, this principle that I'm real good at. This principle involves making gradual increases in either volume or intensity to continue improving your fitness. So you do a little bit today, then you do a little bit more tomorrow. You might see some results from a phone call or a letter that you sent, an email that you sent out. You get a positive response. That encourages you to do a little bit more. That's how it's been working for me. Okay. So, guys, it was just me today. And there you go. And old Jack's here. Right, Jack? You stayed up with me, buddy. All right. Good old Jack's here. Get on up here, Jack. We're out seeing you. Come on up here, Jack. Good boy, Jack. Good boy, Jack. Good boy, Jack. You're a good boy. It's old Jack. And that's O. That's little O. Good girl, O. Good girl. Okay. I ain't going to let because these guys, man, O jealous as hell. O don't like, she's a puppy, but she wants all the attention, and Jack ain't used to that. So he's used to getting all the attention, and she just be acting crazy, and she mean. Oh, boy, I don't let it run near. Do it, girl. That you sometimes mean. Yeah, you part wolf. She part wolf thing. Yes, sir, she is. Okay, guys. Tell your friends, subscribe to our podcast. We would love to have you join us. Call into the show. You can learn more about it. So I didn't put the number up or nothing, but I didn't see any menu check, so I didn't do it. Okay. At any rate, we will be back next week, and we're going to have some great shows for acknowledgement of Black History Month. But also what we're really excited about is having our dating game show. We're looking for contestants for our dating game show. So if you are an amputee and or a person that likes amputees and different able folk and would like to maybe have an online date, go to our website, not our website, go to our Facebook page and Ample Amputees, and you can find some information on how to submit yourself, and you might get chosen. Okay, so we're talking to some people maybe about some sponsorships and everything like that. So, I don't know. We got some good hopes about this thing. We got some people said they're applying. So we only gotten a few submissions. We need to get at least 10 to 15 submissions. We got to get 10 to 15 submissions. Okay. All right. So that's that. All right. So we're going to see you next week. And I hope Shep will join me next week. I might come back and do another show later on today since, nobody joined me tonight. So there you go. All right, Jax. So me and Jack's going to sign off. He's a good old boy. You guys enjoy your morning. What time is it now? It's 2:17. Good night or good morning. Even Jack's tired.
What's your name?